Why do you believe what you believe? Because at some point in your life, you trusted the information that somebody was giving you. And that someone you trusted told you that a car was a car, a tree was a tree, a bird was a bird, the blue stuff above you is the sky. And that's the way that we began to determine what we believe to be a fact. Most of the things that we believe to be a fact in our lives are told to us through our stories or the news that we hear. So my question would be, if they were deceiving you with the stories they tell you, would you be able to recognize that?
Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. No, good evening. I was going to say good afternoon. Welcome to The Way We See It. I'm your host, Blazeman, and we got a lot to go over tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Again, you got to go what's in the news. So, we got to cover some Trump, some Biden, some Hunter. We're going to relive the school shooting, and we'll get to that, why we're going to relive that. And also, we're going to get into a lot of you probably didn't hear because a lot of news outlets are not, paying attention to it, is the FBI shooting of the so-called gentleman that was sending out death threats to Biden and things to that nature. With that being said, I'm going to bring on the panel, starting off with Mr. G.
Good afternoon, Blaze Man. Good afternoon, everybody.
Mr. Donnie.
Right, everybody, how y'all doing?
And, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the smartest man in New Hampshire. Ladies and gentlemen,
I gotta mute this.
Mr. B.
No, I can't do it alone. I like it when you use like the shower massage. I gotta go. Guys, how we doing, everybody? It's going to be a great show tonight. We'll be talking about some stuff. The school shooting that we still don't have the manifesto, and that fellow that I really think was a government sanctioned execution on behalf of Sleepy Joe Biden. So yeah, we got a lot to discuss.
With that being said, what troubles me is the fact that, what are we at, 10 indictments now?
No,
10
this
indictments. Or
This is his fourth indictment.
yeah. Fourth indictment, 10 counts on one indictment.
Right.
The latest one, yes, 10 counts, yes. So, Demon said it best earlier in the group text. He's like fatigued. Just tired of hearing it. There was a report I shared. I sent it on the thing. Maybe I'll try to find it again right now. The Hill. It was court battles. A Pennsylvania state judge ruled Monday that an election worker, and this is dated August 1st, okay, that this election worker cannot sue former President Trump over statements he made sowing doubt into the 2020 election results while in office, finding the statements are protected by presidential immunity. So if he's protected by presidential immunity about all this jabber about a false election, which we've clearly moved on from, and then you say out in the civilian world he's protected by freedom of speech, what the hell do you got in your indictments for racketeering? I mean, what criminal? Usually racketeering involves drugs, money, laundering, and a criminal intent. I don't think there's a criminal intent they can prove. If they could prove that, he would have been impeached and ought to be, what I'm looking for. He's already been found guilty or something, already condemned to his prison sentence or whatever. They ain't gonna find shit. Stop wasting time.
Mr. B.
I, for one, have got to absolutely agree with Hayseed here. We've got
too many things that we should be busying ourselves with. And again, I'll reiterate, Goebbels said it best. When you say it loud enough and often enough, a lie becomes a truth, and that's exactly what they're doing. And they're just throwing one thing after the next to see whatever will stick. Just like the last time when that was the last election, they had a thing where it was the whores. They were saying that they're saying, oh, this one cheated with this one. Oh, he did that one. Oh, he molested this person. Oh, he attacked that one. Blah 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 blah. And they'd bring one out, then another out, then another out, then another out to make it more believable. It's not. The American public isn't stupid. We're not stupid. We're not biting into it. And by the way, now that Hillary's showing her face again, coming out about that, you know that all it is the most hideous bullshit you've ever come across.
Mr. G.
Man, so as you guys were talking about just the fatigue of all this bullshit, I was looking at the co-defendants, how they were listed, and I was also looking for how do I know them? Giuliani, the Meadows, but one, Mark Meadows, Trump's former chief of staff. But the one that really got me was this individual, Trevon Cootie. Man, they are so desperate. That was Kanye West publisher / manager. Wow, I'm not flabbergasted. I'm just like, wow, how low will they go to? Who's next? And I really don't care the way Trump says his words at times, and we all understand that and recognize coming from me. But one thing I do really believe, Trump makes the statement, and he says they're not coming after me; they're coming after you, and he is so right. I hate to get career with, but here we go with the stripping of freedom of speech. If you don't have freedom of speech, you have nothing, and I'll leave it there.
Okay, so for me,
Why?
is doesn't anybody remember Al Gore going up against Bush
With the
in
hanging
Florida?
chads.
Gore was saying the same shit that the election was rigged, and and they had this big thing down in Florida. Where did these votes go? It's like a flashback in my brain. So why the hell didn't anybody at that time get indicted for the same shit?
Yes, totally.
Just correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't Gore part of the Democratic Party?
Yes, it doesn't
There
matter.
you go.
It doesn't
Ding, ding,
matter.
ding, ding,
He
ding,
didn't
ding. Yes,
win.
it
He
does.
didn't win the election. He's the one who got screwed.
That's
Donnie,
why they're not
go.
going after him.
No, let's make a point here. I want to get to what Mr. B and Mr. G said about Hillary. We have known documentation that you tried to influence an election, a federal election, with your Russia collusion bullshit. Why are you not getting locked up? Why are you not handcuffed? Or why are not you being told you have 10 days to report like Mr. Donald Trump? Number two is they keep talking this theory about, and everybody says it's conspiracy theory about anytime something bad happens on the Joe Biden side or the Democratic side, all of a sudden there's more, we got another indictment against Trump or he's back in the news. Here we are again. Wasn't it just a week or two ago that they were talking impeachment files or, filing impeachment stuff against Biden? Now all of a sudden Trump's back in the case, another indictment in Georgia. And once again, Hillary's a Democrat. Gore's a Democrat. They're not going to punish their own. And if that is not, it's just flat out illegal or discriminatory, there's got to break some kind of rule for politics. I just can't see how they can continually get away with that. Because the Republicans do the same thing on the other side. They protect their own.
You got
To an extent.
you got the whole gerrymandering bullshit when it comes to the Republicans, I don't know, but ladies and gentlemen, that shouldn't be a problem with gerrymandering now, right? Because you can send in your vote, you can mail in your vote. So Anybody who lives too far away from a polling station or whatever, you don't have to worry about that no more because you could send in your vote. We got a little bit of something here to play for the audience.
The press having yet another field day after former President Trump got indicted for a fourth time. A Georgia grand jury hitting Trump and 18 others with a staggering 41 counts. Prosecutors accusing Trump of being the head of a criminal enterprise to overturn the 2020 election. And they are using the RICO Act, that's a statute normally reserved for mob bosses. The media and Democrats like Hillary Clinton could not help but gloat as the news broke.
Madam Secretary, fancy meeting you here.
Oh, I
It's really
can't
nice having you
believe
here.
this.
Yeah, this is not the circumstances in which I expected to be talking to you.
Yet another set of indictments.
If Trump or another Republican wins,
Yeah.
they can pardon their way out of that Jack Smith case or just order DOJ to drop the case. This is the insurance, so it should be big. I think it's done carefully. It's done well.
Forgotten that Beyonce's tour hit Atlanta tonight. She did say, I can smell the dishonesty on your breath.
This is a tour de force.
Gives a rat's ass what Beyonce has to say.
It's shock and awe.
It's much bigger than Watergate. It's of a whole different dimension. It goes to the very foundation of democracy.
New charges and trial dates now on a collision course with the election season. Trump's calendar is already pretty loaded with the 3 other indictments he's facing so far. Across the country, the former president faces 91 charges in 4 jurisdictions. The Georgia DA wants to try all 19 defendants at the same time, and she wants to do it all within 6 months. Trump and his team are slamming the latest indictment.
They're all chomping at the bit, aren't they? And it's ironic that they waited 2.5 years to try and now have it in 6 months. The reason was they wanted to mess him up right in the middle of a campaign. They wanted to line him up so that he's tied up in court and can't campaign.
4 weeks
They can't win against him otherwise. So this is desperation at its best.
Greg, is this worse than Watergate?
Well, I guess the worse than Watergate guy wasn't available, so they got another worse than Watergate guy to take his place. He's like the
Let's start off with Mr. G.
Yes, sir. Before I comment anything on the video or anything like that, I want to get back to the Al Gore and George Bush fiasco with the hangover chads in Florida. Yeah, that could have went anyway, but one thing that came out of this election in Florida is that Florida came up with the gold standard, or I should say the platinum standard on how voting systems should be like. Why hasn't the United States adopted this format? I mean, I think Florida is the 3rd in population with the United States. You know, these little blue states that have like 10, 12 million people, they got to wait days before they count their shit. And Florida does it within minutes after the final cast is done. Something's wrong here. And why does that come up to me again? Because for the simple fact, I hope I don't get on the indictment, but I too believe I just can't believe 80 million folks voted for this man that's currently in the White House. I just don't. And that's all I have from here.
Wasn't the number strong between the two? How many did Trump get in the popular vote? Well, it was like 7 million or something like that. Oh, he almost got 8. Huh?
That was the difference.
That was the difference.
That was the difference.
Yes,
or something I think.
So Biden beat Trump by 7 to 8 million votes.
Yeah, I think the numbers were 80, Joe, and President Trump 72.
Isn't that historical?
But it's
that many votes in the presidency or something.
Yes. And then we go back to polls and stuff with Trump and Biden, and they just got them each neck and neck. And I'm like, no, man, no, there is not a sane Democrat out there or a left winger that wants to see Joe, unless your name is AOAC from New York. Do you want Joe Biden back in office?
Well, maybe they're hoping that he fucking drops dead. You know what I mean? And Camaro can come in and get the job done. Guys, I don't understand why there's not a lot of blooper pages with her. I mean, come on, ladies and gentlemen. I don't care what side of the fence you jump on, ladies and gentlemen. I really don't. But come on, as far as Democrats go, these two are your answer. And if they're not anymore, fine. Who do you got? Donnie.
What? Say that again, because I was reading about all the crap in Ohio from that 2020 election. They're still doing cases now where they say, yeah, we found voter fraud. You found voter fraud. Ohio, I believe, was one of the cases or one of the states where all of a sudden 10 to 20,000 votes just all of a sudden went Democrat just right and within a matter of an hour.
Oh, I believe I was saying that on this show. I had video of boxes being stuffed underneath tables.
Yeah, so to me, I want to compliment Demus's thought of get one system and have all these states that want to bicker and moan and cry about it, whatever. It's a federal election, so it's federal standards. You get one voting system, and that's how it goes. You know what I mean? And you just you can't be having everybody have their own way, because then we have all the problems like we have now.
Donnie, but let's look at the federal system, right? The voting system. And I'm just going to relate this to the government agency myself and Mr. Borgstadt associated with. When you have a federal standard, you can't take nothing away from it. But hot damn, these states, they sure add on to it. They sure add on to it. And that's where the discrepancy's at, man. The federal standard needs to be held higher. That means they need to revamp it. They need to look at it, because until the day I die from here, I really don't believe any election going forward has been counted properly.
I'll give you that.
They're going to use this. They're going to try to use the same. I mean, Jesus, guys, how far back does this go? The Dimension or Demian or whatever that accounting firm was. Dominion, thank you.
Dominion.
You know, they won their lawsuit. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know, guys. It's just very easy. We talked about this a year and a half ago, and well, I had mounting video of, you know, everybody was arguing with me. Oh, the mailman's not going to just throw, 20,000 votes away from his truck. I had video. I had video of the mail guy showing up, pulling up in front of a dumpster and hurling boxes in the fucker. Okay? I had video, all right, where only two people they were throwing away the votes, Donnie.
There was no proof in those videos. I remember those videos. You can't prove that.
That was in Ohio. How can I not? You can't prove. You can't prove a video.
We cannot prove that they were voting ballots that was in the boxes. Yes, there was people throwing stuff and there was all that stuff, but nobody could ever prove that.
Okay, so two people left in the accounting building, happen to be Democrats, and you could clearly watch them storing boxes and getting rid of boxes.
Right, but do you know what's in those boxes for sure? Do you know exactly what's in them boxes? There we go. See what I'm saying? You got to prove that point. But I'm not going to sit here and argue with you that the voting system is not, it's all correct. No, the whole thing needs to be revamped. But the same thing can be said about Democrats. That's why I don't understand how they're still going to keep going after Trump for voter fraud. There's voter fraud all over the place. Y'all just don't want to do shit because it benefits you, right? But once again, it's convenient for you because it's beneficial right now. Now it's convenient for you to keep Trump tied up in lawsuits because it keeps him out of politicking. At what point can we not say that somebody in that administration, in that White House, is abusing their power? I just can't. I can't grasp my head around why that hasn't come about yet.
The lieutenant governor
got to be that.
The lieutenant governor right here in the state of Rhode Island is being investigating for voter false signatures.
False signatures.
Okay, but
yes,
she still has enough votes to put her on the ballot. She still has enough votes.
And you know something, let's follow that up next year and to see where she came out. You know, I know exactly which one you're talking about. Her last name is Matos,
Right,
Matos.
right. And
Yeah, she looks
to
shady,
me, why
but
is it all of a sudden, okay, ladies and gentlemen, she's brown, she's Hispanic, and oh, don't go after that one. Don't go after her. You know what I mean? Because you will be a racist. Okay?
please let Mr. B go at it, man. I see
Yeah,
him
but
locked
he
and
ain't putting
cocked, and
no
he's putting magazines and he's
go
sticking.
ahead.
Go B.
Gotta throw that H up, bud. You're muted.
You got a mute on.
You're muted. All right, moving on.
Hot damn it,
I don't know what you're saying. But
Mr. B, you back on, buddy? No, we can't hear you, man.
Okay,
Yeah.
we can't
Oh,
Yeah.
he went bye bye. Little technical difficulties. There's no.
All right, Vice, you feel better? You feel better, Vice? All right. No, I gotta go. We're all sitting here, and I just don't understand what's gonna be. I mean, I'm almost at a point. I hope Trump comes out on top through all this. It sucks to say this, but simply so he would come out on top just to give the Democrats, like, don't throw my way. You ain't got me. Have a good day. Leave me alone, right? But if he comes out on top, that's just going to be so bad for this country, because it's just the decisiveness, the split, the racial war, all that shit will just get worse.
Right. D, we got a good
you think?
question from one of our viewers. You want to read this one?
Yes. Comes from Facebook. Bo Rivera. Also, Nancy Pelosi's husband is on board for the company that made the machines. And the machines they're talking about is the Dominion machines. No, and Bo is 100% right. Bo is 100% right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Mr. Pelosi's made a lot of money off what Nancy knows inside them walls.
And
with
wasn't
all his trading and stuff.
And wasn't he also in trouble for insider like trading? And didn't he buy as soon as the whole electric car thing came out? Didn't he buy a lot of stock?
Yeah, but he did. He bought a lot of stuff, and they never proved anything. They never found anything wrong, because that's not insider information.
Never
because
find
of the
anything wrong when it's a
relationship
Democrat.
some
Never.
bullshit. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's another example. Just don't look at the voting stuff. Look at a lot of examples, and Democrats consistently do the exact same thing that they're trying to persecute Republicans for.
Can I be heard now?
Yes.
Go,
Mr. B.
Thank you very much for welcoming
What do
me
you
back
think
in.
this is? Is the fucking enterprise?
Well, yes, absolutely.
Or if it's not an enterprise, it could be a business, company, firm, venture, organization.
It's quite all right.
Sorry,
I'm
Mr.
glad
B,
you
I had
got
to
it
say
out.
that. I pulled up the synonyms.
Yes, everybody needs to get it out every once in a while. So
it's a family show.
Absolutely. That's why I've said before, and I'll say it again. Italian women don't need to be given any advice or whatever else. They just need a better cannoli. All this having been said, the
family show.
The voting machines are fraudulent. They can be controlled, and we know this. Anything electronic can be hacked. There is no safety, whatever it is, whatever. I mean, if some whatever it is, 12-year-old kid sitting over in Belarus somewhere can hack into the NSA's computers, we know that this is true. Nothing is safe. The voting machines that are online, of course, they can turn around and screw with the numbers, the counts, and so forth. There's also other ways of stuffing the ballot box without actually, quote unquote, stuffing it. And I've seen instances of it here in my own community, when the voting machines, for some reason, suddenly just happen to get jammed up, and you get maybe 15, 20, 25, 30 voting slips that were pulled into the machine when they're jammed somewhere. They're jammed there. They pull them out. Well, these can go through, and they feed them through again. So maybe you've had 800 people go through the voting lines, but now you've got 1,200 votes that have been cast.
Yes,
So you want to do things one vote, one person, and none of this freaking electronic bullshit. And if you're gonna mail it, go back to the old way, where if you're gonna vote, you can't register to vote with less than 40 days before the election. That's what they used to do, and that's what they should go back to doing. And there were very, very few absentee ballots ever cast before. Now it's everybody and his brothers casting absentee ballots, including people who died back in 1967.
You know, I'm sorry, Mr. B. Are you done? Let me see if I can handle this towards the break. So the registration, and please, I understand it's got to be an American citizen to vote. No green card holder, no illegal migrant, no migrant, an American citizen. On that, why can't we come up with something? And this would, now we got to look outside the box here. Why do we have to register 40 days out? All we should be able to do is get over there with a government-sponsored ID, not a state, a government sponsor, like the shit they're doing with the TSA. You know, get a real ID and bang. The purpose of registration of voting, in my little pee-wee brain here, is just to give those who are going a better stance of where they need to attack. Fuck that. I say don't give them no data that they can turn around and benefit themselves. Key and point. I know. I'm willing to bet $100. If you look at the national database, the Democrats are beating the Republicans at a rate of 60-40.
Yeah.
And I'm being very conservative there. I'm being very conservative. It's always an uphill battle for the Republicans to get any type of seat. But that little, you know, everything they want numbers, poll numbers, registration numbers, you know, so where they can gear their vote. I say, screw that. Screw that. Just go with a damn government-sponsored ID, cast your vote, and go home.
Ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, thank you, Mr. G. Thank you, boys. That was our first segment of the night. And we will be back, ladies and gentlemen. Stick around with us because it's getting good. We'll be back in about 3 to 4 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, right here, the way we see it on the FFN Network.
Holding on to each other. Miss the last bus on foot to get home. I miss the town, rowdy and clever, all at once undercover, blowing kisses to the shop windows as we go. We stayed out playing past midnight. That was years ago. Now something just ain't right. Better take it slow.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to The Way We See It right here on the FFN Network. You can check us out on FFN Radio, FFN Radio Network on Facebook, FFN Radio Network on YouTube, excuse me, Twitter, Twitch. Let's see what we got here. D-Link, Telegram, Kicks, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. We are live on them all. With that being said, let me bring back the fellas. Mr. G, how are you? Hope your break was wonderful. Mr. Donnie, no show. And ladies and gentlemen, all the way from New Hampshire, no one really knows who he is unless you watch The Way We See It right here on the FFN Radio Network. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. B.
Hi. Odd to see you, folks. What a nice show we're having this evening. Guys, I hope everybody's been smoking, talking, and midnight joking.
So, with that being said, you know, it was a couple of weeks back. You know, I get like this notification from Newsbreak or whatever, you know, and not really a lot of people got it because I text the boys and I'm like, hey man, this is something we should run with on the show, and everybody's like, when the hell did this happen? Blah blah blah. And I'm like, well, it happens. And then, Mr. B went and did a little bit of research. Thank you for that, Mr. B. We got a little video here that we want to show all of you. And it has to do with the FBI shooting a man that supposedly, because we don't know all the facts, that's what Donnie says, you know, anything could be in that bag. So, the FBI shows up at this gentleman's house and they shoot him dead. We got a video. Doesn't actually show them busting into his house and stuff like that, which I'm disappointed in. And Donnie says, now I got the point, Blaze. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to run this video and then we're going to talk about it. We got anything that you want to add? Go right ahead. So I'm assuming this is somebody filming from their house. Mr. B, you wanna describe some of this while we're going on here, pal?
Yeah, there was a
All right, here
couple
we
that.
go. Wait. All right, go ahead, talk.
There was a couple that usually gets up early in the morning and they go out to Planet's Fitness or whatever it is and exercise together. The family that plays together stays together, and they're met by this scene out their window with all these cars and trucks and so forth, and people running around in body armor with guns and whatnot, all facing this neighbor of theirs who they've known for a number of years, who was always, just a quiet sort of whatever else guy, nice little guy. And they have this
quiet,
scene that's
Mr.
going
B.
on. I'm sorry?
I said all crazies are quiet.
Oh yeah, no, he was a nice guy with them. And somewhere around 6:15 local time, the FBI starts throwing off some flashbangs. And
Whoa!
Boom, just like that, and then bang bang, he's dead. And this is not at all like this man.
Mr. B, let the crowd get a listen to this, Mr. B. Let the viewers get a listen to this.
Why you jump? Boom.
I got headphones in my ear.
Yes, sir.
I hear a lot of yelling and screaming in the background. This is as loud as I can put it up, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to hear gunfire. Still a lot of screaming in the background.
Yeah.
The biggest command they're given is, "Let me see your hands."
Right. Like, get the fuck down, because all police swear when they were in that situation.
Yes, and this man was supposedly shot because he pointed a 357 at somebody.
Supposedly.
Yeah. Sounds like I never heard him say, okay, he pointed. Ooh. I don't know.
That's it, Mr. B.
Yeah. Provo, Utah man. Was this a government-sanctioned execution? Reporting the guy, they say he made several threats. He was on the FBI's watch list. Made threats against Barack the Wonder Schmuck, and that's it. I mean, there were interviews with people who lived in the neighborhood said they never expected to see anything like this. They never knew anything at all about this guy being threatening in any way. And from the things that they had said that he had posted on the internet, it's things as innocuous that anybody else would have written. It wasn't a direct threat saying, "Joe Biden, I am going to kill you if you come to my town." There was a thing that said, "Joe Biden's coming to Utah. Better get out my whatever it is and my gun," and that's it. Didn't say he was going to use it and go out and shoot everybody up on the ball field where Joe Biden is, or anything. Nothing. There was no absolute positively discerned direct threat against anyone.
Hey, Mr. B, can
Yes.
I counter you? Can I counter you right now?
Go right ahead, please. If you've got information that I haven't been able to find.
No, I'm just going to be the simple, laid back American that has a fond respect for law enforcement. And
I do too.
And if I got all them cars back there, it's not a good time for me to show them my armory. This gentleman did point some triggers out, man. The posting of his ARs online and stuff.
So what?
No, but I want that these days, man. I need that for sanity, because these weapons. Why didn't he just put his hands up? Or better yet, they're probably going to instruct him to turn around, lift up his shirt, drop down to your knees so you can get searched and handcuffed, and it would be done.
What is the definition of a tyrant to you?
No, man. No, it's not.
Tyrants show up to your house with a whole bunch of guns, and you're just going to capitulate?
No. If they're wearing a badge, I'm not going to capitulate.
And on top of it, the guy has a blind and handicapped son he's living with, he's taking care of and protecting.
No.
So you're just going to capitulate and say, "Yeah, come on in"? No, I'm going to do everything I possibly can to ward off these sons of bitches who showed up without warning on my doorstep. And if I go down in a hail of bullets, so be it. At least I did what I could to protect my land.
But something, Mr. B, I've known you for a year, and we've talked and we've agreed, and sometimes we disagree. This one, my friend, I disagree with you. If he would have complied with the FBI or whatever, the marshals that were doing the arrest, if he would have complied, I think he'd still be alive today. Was this suicide by a cop?
He who gives up essential liberty for a little temporary safety deserves neither safety nor liberty.
No, Bug. I'm sorry. Donnie, you got anything to add, plus or negative?
I don't understand this. I want to know where the body cameras are at. Where's all that footage? Because sons of bitches are real quick to release that when it's.
That's why I fucking love you, Donnie. That's why I love you, bro. You come fucking out with shit you're not thinking about.
Where is it? Because I want to see it. I want to see that he pointed a weapon at you. This is where I can agree with both sides of the fence.
Hearsay right now, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's all hearsay to me. You're telling me this dude did it. You're telling me if he had a blind son, a handicapped son that he's taking care of, is he frustrated? Is he mad? Well, shit. 75% of the U.S. is mad right now. 90% probably. They're mad at something. The economy, because there's dildos and targets, something. Somebody's mad, right? So
No.
don't give me that. I don't want to hear all that. Oh, well, he showed online. Okay, well, show me. Show me. Because the man's dead now. It's irrelevant whether or not it's true. Or, you know what I'm saying? What he said online is irrelevant. The man's dead. It's not going to go anywhere. There's nothing
Right.
you can do to prosecute the man.
I mean,
why are we being hidden from the data? Why is it so secretive? I don't understand that. Secretive tells me you're hiding something.
right. I mean, just like out of nowhere. Okay? And if those people weren't up, I don't even think this would have made the news. Because the only reason why it was caught on is because the video showed up on TikTok. Then it was investigated. I mean, then the news outlets started picking it up.
And I agree. Anytime something like this happens, they always have. The first thing they're out with is the body camera. Within 2 days, the body cam video for the cops shows this is what happened and that what happened. Look what happened with the thing with that guy that they kneeled on the black guy's neck and crushed him to death that way. They had the body cams videos that were out.
Oh, okay. And
where's the body cam videos for this?
I'm not the approval authority for the release of the body cam.
All
I want to say is one thing. If the video, Donald, shows the gentleman pointing a weapon at the FBI or whatever, it was the killing justified then?
Yes, sir. I don't care how old you are. They're telling you put your hands up, put it down. You reach for a weapon. Yeah, have a good day. You could reach for a butter knife. You reach for something to do something with it. So your intent is to inflict bodily harm. Yeah, okay, you get shot.
What if he already had it in his hands when he opened the door?
And then he put it down. You know that the law official is telling you to do something. This is the part of the conversation where everybody gets pissed off about the law enforcement guys, but it's not all their fault. It's a 50-50 street because you wasn't doing what the hell you was told to do. 95%, 99% are going to be, that's fine if you will do what they tell you to do and sit your ass down and calm down and shut the hell up. You're going to walk away just fine. But because you want to get rowdy, that's when things get done.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, but now I'm going to flip now. I'm going to flip on this side. But why should that man put his gun down when they destroyed buildings in the summer of love? And the key point I just want to say on this is that summer of love set a precedence for this country where we don't listen to the law. Because the first thing that's going to happen when I go to the judge and I destroy a house or something, I'm going to say we did it in the summer of love.
Yeah,
no. Go ahead.
My next question: does anybody here remember Ruby Ridge?
Yes.
Does anybody here remember Waco?
Yeah,
yes.
Does anybody here remember the Clivens?
We remember all of those, Mr. B.
Yes.
But this isn't anything like that. I mean,
this one is a comparison to Ruby Ridge, but not Waco.
Yeah, no, definitely not Waco. Ruby Ridge, okay, maybe. And I think I know what Mr. B's trying to get at. I mean, Mr. B, the reason why I'm saying they're not the same is because the others were standoffs. This just happened. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Okay, so you can't compare the two. You can't compare the two.
Ruby Ridge wasn't a standoff. Ruby Ridge happened and it never should have.
It became a standoff, Mr. B. It became
Eventually,
a standoff.
Yes.
Okay.
Eventually, yes.
So, Greg Robinson, a 75-year-old Air Force veteran, was killed during a raid on his home in Provo last Wednesday, Provo, Utah. Last Wednesday, hours before Biden arrived. So, Biden was supposed to arrive in Utah that day?
Well, he was in the New Mexico. I know he was in New Mexico.
He was supposed to arrive either that day or the next day.
No, this says hours
he was
before
supposed to be up
arrived.
in that area.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. There's a factor right there. Okay.
And I've mentioned that a number of times. I've mentioned that.
Okay. So, all right. Now, we still don't know what he said online, okay, or how crazy his thoughts were and all of that stuff like that, okay? But we certainly can read this, and we're smart enough to, get some info on it. Okay, all right. Now, Biden was supposed to arrive there shortly, that Wednesday. They go to this guy's house for reasons that we don't know why, except what we're being told right now, okay, is that he was threatening the president of the United States. Okay? FBI FBI agents went to Robinson's home early in the morning to arrest him for 3 felonies, including making threats against the president and agents who had been investigating him for months, according to court records unsealed after the raid. Okay, so he was under investigation. What was he under investigation for? Donnie, I'll give you 30 seconds. We'll continue to read.
What? I just want to know. This is my problem with this whole. He's pointed a gun at somebody. I'm gonna go back to house clearing things that we used to do sometimes, and when we threw in the smoke, there also was something else. There was 2 of them in your hand when you threw them in there. Smoke grenade, concussion grenade. Right?
Okay, understand.
So they go in, flashbang, and a concussion grenade. They go in, flashbang, white, concussion. Now you're over here going, so why, if this dude is doing all these threats, why was it not, and he's on the standoff, he's not letting you in, why was that not done? Because that alleviates the whole gun piece. And that's something that your so-called criminal or this, threat, this violent person, they can get, neutralized and we can take them into jail. So I'm a little confused on how that went. And
so I found the evidence whenever you guys are ready. And all I expect in return is, would you get a search warrant or will you just leave this clown alone? So the first threat he made was to Alvin Bragg. And this is the second one was, that's Craig Robertson. That's him. The second one was to Biden. I hear Biden's coming to Utah. This is from his Facebook account. Digging out my old ghillie suit and cleaning the dust off my M24 sniper rifle. Welcome, buffoon in chief. Yeah, that would make me like, I need to watch this guy a little more. Yay or nay?
Oh, it certainly wouldn't make me go and do what they just did. These are the type of things that he put on like weeks prior?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Because we already knew.
November 20. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, we already knew that Biden was going there. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So he texts or tweets or does whatever. And what was it again that he said, please?
This is the one for the Biden on Facebook. And I need to get to Truth Social, but I hear Biden is coming to Utah, digging out my old ghillie suit and cleaning the dust off my M24 sniper rifle. Welcome, buffoon in chief. Signed, Craig Robertson. So
yeah, we take that out of the equation.
No, but hear me out. On this one, really got me is that he says a lot of shit about Alvin Bragg, but he did it on Truth Social. And Truth Social alerted the FBI National Threats Operations Center.
Why wouldn't they? Because it's Donald Trump's company.
No,
come on, man.
No. What I'm getting to is that even the MAGA Republicans are saying, "Ooh, this ain't right. We need to contact the FBI." And
of course, a fucking crazy person is a crazy person, man. Donald, go.
Well, I'm going to watch this dude if he made those comments. Of course we're going to go. And we're going to go have a conversation. If I'm the FBI or the local field office, local law enforcement, we say, look, man, that's a little bit of a threat. So we're going to have somebody sitting outside till Mr. Joe Biden, the POTUS, is gone. And they're going to watch you. And I would tell you I'm going to watch you. I go get a warrant that says I can watch you and do all the right things. That's another way that this is an incident that could have been prevented had we just been proactive instead of reactive. Because as a nation, we're reactive a lot. Does that make sense?
100%.
So of course I'm going to watch this dude. Because if you have that equipment, then you probably had that training. Especially when he mentions commander-in-chief, this and that. Right. So if you have this training, I know you can reach out and touch someone for a bit away. So yeah, we need to talk.
Right.
So it's justified with the raid then.
Well, yeah.
Because
No.
homeboy didn't comply. Homeboy did not comply, and there's more. Go ahead,
Let me
please.
read on. Let me read on a little bit,
Good.
okay? Robinson resisted arrest, and as agents attempted to take him into custody, he pointed a .357 revolver at them. FBI spokesperson Sandra Baker said in a statement on Monday. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Two law enforcement sources who spoke to the Associated Press last week on the conditions of anonymity to discuss details of an ongoing investigation, said Robinson, was warned at the time of the shooting. Monday's statement provides additional details about Robinson's weapon and that he pointed it at an officer. The FBI did not respond to questions about whether Robinson shot at agents or if agents were wearing body cameras while attempting to arrest Robinson. Everything that Donnie threw out there, man. You know, we want body camera now. We want body camera shit now.
Yeah, of course we do, because
Let me ask you guys a question, okay? Military gentlemen. Don't you think the FBI, NSA, whatever, you know what I'm talking about? Police also, the other reason for the body camera is for training purposes. Would you agree?
yes, of course.
Okay,
Yes.
so they had to have body cameras on. Would you agree?
Apparently, from your little statement there, they didn't. It's unknown if they had them on or not because maybe it's not mandatory.
For the FBI?
Yeah. I don't know anybody.
I thought the
Any
law
laws?
says that all law enforcement have to
that's
wear them.
no. There is no law stating that a cop has to have a camera on.
Really?
Show me.
That's what I thought.
I don't know. I don't
I didn't know
know.
there. I don't know if anybody out there knows there's a rule or a law.
Let us
that
know.
says they will wear it. Let us know because as far as I know, there's not one. And that's something where we talk about change and change policy and say, hey, you will turn this on when you show up to the calls or when you're sitting there and you're having lunch. Yeah, it's off. I get it. But we go back to training. Oh shit, I was having lunch and something just went down. Just make it habit, muscle memory to go right here or right here, wherever, right? Turn it on, we're gone. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So, yeah, Robinson's daughter, Sandra Robinson, said she had no comment at the time in a statement last week. His family rebuffed the idea that he could have hurt anyone. Okay. So, and I said, months before, they've been watching this guy for months. So he had to come out and say something really crazy that time in order to get them to the house. Would you agree with that?
Well, that last statement was pretty damn crazy about dusting off a sniper rifle and getting his sniper suit out.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty damn crazy.
Yeah, I would have had my team there within 2 or 3 days. Yeah.
But when was that made? That was made back in November.
Yes.
So this one was on March 24th, and this is another post of his. To my friends in the Federal Bureau of Idiots, I know you're reading this and you have no idea how close your agents came to violent eradication. Ooh.
Yeah. Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. Sorry, Mr. B. Sorry, Mr. B.
What?
The dude's a nut. He's a nut.
Wait.
All right. Hey, we'll let you try to argue it. Go ahead.
What preceded that statement being made?
What do you mean?
What did they do?
Fuck, Biden yell
to
at him on the
entice the
phone
man?
call? What?
What did they do?
I don't know. Are you
The man
saying that
doesn't just
are
get
you
up in the
saying-
middle of the night
Are you
and
saying
say,
that the
I think
law
we're going to
had
write this
done
thing
him
about.
wrong? Are you saying the law had done him wrong down the road?
What did they do? Something must have happened to to incite this man to saying something of that nature. Must have.
I don't.
Okay.
I can't imagine what would incite somebody to say that.
Oh, shit, and there's a big handful of Americans that want to see Joe Biden next, but they just don't
You can't
display it and
say it.
stuff. Blaze, hang on, real quick. I
Yeah.
found something
Nice.
because Mr. B made a point. When's the last time he said? So on this one in July, Robertson allegedly wrote in a Facebook post, "Hey FBI, you still monitoring my social media? Checking so I can be sure to have a loaded gun handy in case you drop by again." On August 7th, Robertson wrote what I said. I hear Biden's coming. Blah blah blah.
Right.
Again. Drop by again.
Oh man, don't I?
Okay.
You know, I'm gonna read this, man, and maybe this will
Mr.
not
B,
defend
Mr. B, you don't
Mr.
have
B.
an argument, man. You don't have an
No,
argument.
but no, Robertson was registered as a Republican and described himself as a MAGA Trumper. He was active on Facebook and the conservative social network Truth Social. Remember, Truth Social reported his ass in. He was a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, for whom he was a financial clerk in his ward, and was reported to be a life member of the NRA. That's fine. A neighbor who went to church with him estimated he had at least 20 guns. That makes nothing. Though his social media posts indicate he had somewhere close to a dozen. So you got a little conflict in how many guns he has, but it only takes one bullet
Doesn't
to
matter.
kill a
It
man.
only takes one bullet to. There you go. There you go. I know I got a little lag behind you, but Mr. B, come on, man. There's no argument here.
No.
You don't say those things, man.
Great. Then
I'm
show us the
dusting
body
off.
cams.
I'm dusting
Yes.
off. Okay. Now I'll help you because you probably forgot, because this is something you had brought to my attention when you first wanted to talk about the story on The Way We See It. And you had said that we didn't talk about body cams. I know that. We weren't talking about no body cams.
Nope,
But
nope.
you said that the guy was like handicapped or something, right?
His son. His son was handicapped, and he himself was a retiree or something like that.
Right.
That-
Right. And where did you read that his son was handicapped? And what did his son have to do with being handicapped, with him being the one pointing the 357 Magnum at agents?
The son's at the house. He's blind, and he's apparently multiple handicapped. Okay,
Maybe.
so he's busy and whatever else taking care of his kid.
Okay.
So and he has a higher interest of safety and security for protecting his family, not just himself, but his child who can't fight for himself, who can't feed himself, who can't cook for himself.
So you're saying that his justification for doing what he did is because he thought it was going to be some kind of like crazy fucking house invasion? Did he live in a bad neighborhood where something like that was capable of happening to him?
I don't know.
So the FBI, and I'm pretty sure, and I don't consider myself a profile.
None of us do, but
No.
common sense is common sense.
Yeah, and being around people, you can smell a dud a mile away. Donnie could smell 3 miles away because I'm a little older. But getting back, and I'm clinging to that blind child that he had. Was that child, because he was 70 something, and this man seemed like he worked. He did a little Air Force gig for 4 years. His last duty station was Illinois. He was a metal worker, and he retired as a welding inspector. The point I'm trying to get was because everybody's looking for their 5 minutes of fame. Everybody is. Was he just so fed up with taking care of his blind son that he's like, fuck it, let me go out with the blades of glory? I'm tired of taking myself.
I sincerely doubt that.
That takes a toll on people.
There's your government answer,
toll.
Mr. B. There's your government answer why he's pissed off at the government. Maybe the government wasn't helping out his son and him. And then he's watching on the news how the government wants to give these monies to these people, all that stuff like that. That could be your argument for basis for him maybe writing something like that, correct? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know.
All right, so you don't have the no argument.
Don't say I have no argument.
You don't.
There's an argument. There's an argument, but it's
Go,
all
Donnie.
No, there's an argument, but there's no facts either way. We need more data to get an educated opinion on what happened. We need more data, period.
And that simple data for all of us is a little clip from that body cam.
Yep.
And everything will be solved.
Absolutely.
Yep. But my problem is, why won't you release it? What's so wrong now? Because I see a pattern.
Yes.
When the person, the victim, or the person that's doing all these threads lacks pigment in the skin, they're of, what they consider Caucasian or white, the facts come out real slow. When it's a person of color anymore, I'm sorry, but the media flaunts that real fast. So,
Benjamin Crump would have been in Utah already.
Yeah.
Benjamin Crump, he's that brother lawyer that you always see around these high-profile colored cases. I hate
He's another Al Sharpton.
Yes.
Yeah.
Al's more of a preacher. This guy takes him to court and gets money for himself and the family, of course.
Oh, I understand it,
but that's another reason why the family don't say nothing right now. They keep quiet because that lawsuit's coming. That wrongful death lawsuit's probably coming real fast.
Well, it all depends on what's inside that the body cam. And something tells me if they haven't released it, if they haven't shown it, they're covering something up. They're covering something up.
No, our government covered something up.
I know it's a surprise. There's a shock. I know.
Yeah, it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see y'all in about 5 minutes. Break time.
Are we taking 5?
Holding on to each other. Miss the last bus on foot to get home. I miss the town, rowdy and clever, all at once undercover, blowing kisses to the shop windows as we go. We stayed out playing past midnight. That was years ago. Now something just ain't right. Better take it slow.
Hey, thanks for sticking around for more of The Way We See It. And I'm just going to bring in the boys on this. I'm telling you because we've been getting down pretty good tonight. Mr. G,
Yes, sir.
Mr. B, and Mr. Donald. So, guys, I got to run up a little video, and we're going to kick its ass.
Well, this appointment is camouflage and it's cover up. I think it's disgraceful. Listen, David Weiss was the U.S. attorney handpicked to lead this investigation, who spent the last 5 years covering it up. David Weiss, who was personally selected by the two Democrat senators from Delaware, Tom Carper and Chris Coons. For 5 years, the investigation has gone nowhere other than to protect Hunter Biden and Joe Biden. Not only that, David Weiss is the one that is subject to two whistleblower complaints from senior career IRS officials who came forward. They said they'd never seen an investigation like this in their entire time in law enforcement. They said that the Department of Justice, lawyers working for David Weiss, protected the Biden family, that they gave heads up to Hunter Biden before search warrants were executed, presumably so that he could hide incriminating evidence, that they refused to allow them to ask any questions at all about the big guy, about Joe Biden, that they were focused on, you cannot inquire into President Joe Biden's personal corruption. And the result of all of that is that David Weiss either was an active participant in covering up this criminality and protecting Joe Biden, in engaging in obstruction of justice. That's option one. Or option two, he wasn't the driver. He was just complicit. He was so weak that he couldn't stop the partisans in Maine justice from turning it into a political effort to protect Joe Biden. Either case, he is a wildly inappropriate person to be a special counsel. We should have a special counsel, but number one, we should have a special counsel to investigate Merrick Garland for whether he lied under oath to Congress in response to questioning from me, number one, and whether he committed obstruction of justice. Those are both the allegations that came from the whistleblowers. And number two, we need a whistleblower not to go back and bury what Hunter Biden did, which is what David Weiss has been doing for 5 years. We need a special counsel to investigate Joe Biden and the $20 million that his family received while he was vice president. The allegation now is for official favors that he was selling. That is bribery. It's not a little gun charge on Hunter. It is bribery of the president of the United States is what these allegations are. And this special counsel, he ain't going to do anything to get to the bottom of that.
Mr. B, go.
We're looking at a mess under which we have absolutely no control. It's unfortunately we're not the ones. We're the ones at the crap game. And the dealers are the ones that are rolling the dice. And the dice that they're doing are so incredibly leaded, we're never going to get a fair shake out of this. That's all I have to say, really. I'm completely disgusted by this entire situation.
Really, that's all you're going to say on Joe and his criminality, but when they jump on Trump, you're okay. Joe Biden needs to go just the same damn road as Trump. I mean, I'm sorry. Go down the same road. Get your evidence together and go prosecute the man. A special counsel? Yeah, you better get that from somewhere else other than the Northeast. Did you really think that when you chose the senators from Delaware, where Joe Biden resigned, chose the guy to be in charge of the investigation, did you really think something was going to happen? Come on now, no. Ted Cruz, as much as he puts his foot in his mouth and he's a dumbass, he's perfectly right. Either you were in charge and you had the authority to do what you're supposed to do to get all the charges together, or you didn't. So who was in charge? I agree with them totally about maybe, like the military, Demon. Remember when you did something, you was a senior guy, you got removed from position?
Yes.
Maybe they could do that for the DOJ guys. Say, hey, you need to go step over there for a while till we figure this out. Because this is just absolutely retarded. You can't spend 5 years on this. Joe Biden has gotten more money from outside sources. Why he was an elected official? I mean, the man's been in there a half a century, right?
Yes, sir.
Come on now. He's got
Absolutely.
more money that way. If the facts are there, the facts are there. Move forward. Quit talking and show us all something that substantiates the claim, either from the Democratic side that you're innocent or the Republican side that you did it. Somebody show something. Because right now, all I see is that thing where, like they say, you point a finger. Well, look at the three coming back at you.
Mr. G.
So, correction, Donnie is about 600 miles away from me, and I just want to start off with this. Ted Cruz is a piece of shit. He is great on Fox News. You see him more on Fox News than what you actually see here in this great state of Texas. I think he comes up for re-election here on 24. So next year he'll do his little walks. So I'm Joe Biden, and I'm thinking whoever thought of the special counsel does to that Jim Comer House of Committee on Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, that goes ceasefire freeze. That you cannot, let's just say the special counsel outweighs the House of Representatives committee that was investigating Hunter Biden. Yes, they will still go, but all this special counsel has to do is subpoena Hunter Biden, and they can't touch him. I think this was the perfect setup to save Joe Biden. I really do. Do I agree with that? Hell no. But if you guys can show me I'm wrong, please do. But I really believe this is going to definitely help Joe Biden.
Well, for me, go ahead, Donnie.
I just don't understand how. Well, yeah, I can understand how he could tell Congress to F off for a subpoena because Hillary's done it how many times?
Yes.
So, yeah, I can see that. And yeah, I can see the point where, that's an ongoing investigation. We can't discuss that right now because Fitzgerald's trying to get the plea deal right. And he's still fighting to have that gun charge with the whole, he does whatever program to get that dismissed because he knows that gun charge should put him behind bars for at least 3 years.
Any of you boys happen to see a movie called The Maltese Falcon?
Yeah, I remember the name. I don't remember the movie.
You may remember.
Think I started in that one.
You remember there was a kid by the name of, they call him Wilmer. And he turned out they were making him the fall guy for everything so that Sidney Greenstreet and everybody else could go out and get away with all of the stuff that had happened. Exactly the same thing they're setting Hunter Biden up for. He's going to be the fall guy. He's going to take the fall for all of this stuff, cover everything up so that Sleepy Joe can sneak out back underneath the radar and slither on to continue on doing what he's freaking doing.
Well, this is for me.
Stupid.
For me.
Go ahead.
This is why this is how the media corrupts. So if you only got maybe cable news networks, maybe two, Newsmax and Fox. Newsmax is pretty conservative. They cover a lot of stuff. I think I might start watching that for a little while. But anyways, media again, Gerbil. You know what I'm saying? The dude, the more you throw shit at people, the more the lie becomes truth. Okay? And I got a perfect example of that, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a watch.
Forming a disturbing pattern.
And now, the President and First Lady of the United States will take their first dance.
The tone was set on President Trump's first official day in office. CNN claimed Nancy Sinatra was not happy about her father Frank Sinatra's song My Way being used at Trump's inauguration. Nancy Sinatra responded on Twitter, "That's not true. I never said that. Why do you lie, CNN? Actually, I'm wishing him the best." Meantime,
Wow.
Time incorrectly reported that President Trump had removed the bust statue of Martin Luther King Jr. from the Oval Office. That false news went viral.
Now, I know the boys on a panel, including myself, and I know the people that are viewing this show right now, remember hearing all of these things, and that's how they started depicting Donald Trump as, you know, a racist and Ku Klux person and all that stuff like that, you know? Let's listen.
Viral. In February 2017, TMZ reported Trump had changed the name Black History Month to African American History Month, implying the change was racist. In fact, it turns out Presidents Obama, George W. Bush, and Clinton all called Black History Month African American History Month. Also, the Washington Post reported on the cabinet battle over Trump's immigration order. The article was repeatedly updated to note that one of the reported meetings did not actually occur. A conference call did not happen as described in the article, and actions attributed to Trump were actually carried out by his chief of staff. And the New York Times reported on supposed contacts between Trump campaign staff and senior Russian intelligence officials. FBI Director James Comey later testified it was not true.
That report by the New York Times was not true. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, in the main, it was not true.
In May, the BBC and The Guardian reported because Trump wasn't wearing headsets, he didn't bother to listen to the translation of a speech by Italy's prime minister. But Trump was wearing his earpiece in his right ear, as always, said the White House. In June 2017, NBC News reported that Russian President Putin said he had compromising information about Trump. Actually, Putin said the opposite.
Do you have something damaging on our president?
Well, this is just another load of nonsense. Where would we get this information from?
CNN and ABC falsely reported that FBI Director Comey was going to refute Donald Trump's claim that Comey told Trump 3 times he wasn't under investigation. Instead, Comey confirmed Trump's claim under oath.
It appears that you actually volunteered that assurance. Is that correct?
That's correct.
CNN retracted a report claiming Congress was investigating a Russian investment fund with ties to Trump officials. Newsweek reported Poland's First Lady refused to shake Trump's hand, but later acknowledged she did. CNN edited a video to make it appear as though Trump impatiently dumped a box of fish food into the water in Japan. The full video showed Trump had simply followed the lead of Japan's prime minister. Bloomberg and the Wall Street Journal falsely reported special counsel Robert Mueller had subpoenaed Trump's bank records. AP reported a new survey showed trust in the media had fallen during the Trump presidency, but the survey was actually conducted under President Obama. The New York Times said a hypothetical family's tax bill would rise nearly $4,000 under Trump's tax plan. It turns out their taxes would actually go down $43. The New York Times and CNN shared a story with photos of immigrant children in cages. It turns out the photos were from 2014, during the Obama administration. In December 2018, NBC reported Trump was the first president since 2002 not to visit the troops at Christmas time, but Trump actually left the White House on Christmas to visit troops in Iraq. ABC aired video purportedly showing a slaughter and horrific report of atrocities against Kurds by Turkey after President Trump withdrew U.S. troops.
This video right here appearing to show Turkey's military bombing Kurd civilians in a Syrian border town.
But the video was file tape of a training video in the U.S.
Unbelievable.
In November 2019, Newsweek falsely reported that President Trump was spending Thanksgiving golfing in Florida. He was actually in Afghanistan serving dinner to U.S. troops.
Good morning.
CBS aired a story in March of 2020 supposedly showing a New York hospital crowded with coronavirus patients.
It's all hands on deck in America's hospitals.
It was actually file tape from Italy. A week later,
Yeah, we
CBS News
talked
mistakenly
about that. I
used
think it
the
was the
Italy
rabbit hole
video
at the time.
again. And those are just a few examples.
All right, Mr. B. No, Donald, go.
I'm sorry, me or whom?
Oh,
Donald.
Okay.
Sorry, I had it mute. I used to be all on Trump about how his actions are, but seeing some of that video, yeah, that's awfully shitty on the media. But here's my problem now again, then. His defamation suit against the lady he lost the suit to or whatever, that's okay, when Trump says that he didn't do that or he talks bad about her, but yet y'all made all these stories. How come he can't sue them for defamation? That's another thing I'd like to know, because they
Mr.
tarnished
G.
his reputation.
Mr. B.
No, Mr. B.
Yeah, you can't argue with this. It's shown these, and you know this, I know this, everybody knows this. You can show this to left-wing liberal nuts, and you can make them watch it, 75 days in a row, and you're still going to turn around and deny that it happens. You can lead the horse to water, you can't make it drink. Just like you can't make a liberal admit that that someone's leading them around by the nose. It's sickening. It's disgusting. It was so bad when finally had the fellow that had been the news anchor for CBS for so many years. I forget what his name is now, and he got caught doing something that was trying to influence the election, and they turned around and they fired him for it. But it's just continued on and continued on, and nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives enough crap to put an end to it. It's disgusting and it's disquieting, and it shouldn't be happening, but it is.
Are you mind if I come in, Mr.
Please.
B?
I'm done.
So no, I have no response comments to you or Mr. D or Mr. Blazeman, but what's happening? I really don't know. When I was younger, was this happening at this level with Clinton, with Ronald Reagan, Richard Nixon, Jimmy Carter, JFK? What was the government so corrupt then? And that I'm only seeing it now because I'm a little older, a lot more wiser.
No, you see it now because it's easily accessible via all the tools you have available to you, laptop, phone, everything else. Number two is you pay more attention to it. When those guys that you mentioned previously, your age was much younger and you had more important shit to do than worry about politics.
Yes.
Mr. B?
Yeah. I can remember a time when we actually had a respect for the news. There were people that we paid attention to: Eric Sevareid, Walter Cronkite, the people we turn on, and it was, of course, a kinder, gentler time in the United States, and things weren't all this instant gratification. So, we'd have images of news from a war that was half a world away, but the films that we were seeing were 2, 3, 5 days old, or sometimes maybe 2 days old. But there was nothing that was automatic that was coming. Yeah, it was still coming into our living rooms every night from the Vietnam War, whereas in the times of the Korean War and before that, you would see things in newsreels. You wouldn't see them on the television if you had a television.
I think he locked up on us, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, so let's go back to the media, what he was talking about. Integrity was more in the media than it is now. Now it's about making that dollar, and you can edit and you can do stuff. You know what I mean? It's all about making their dollar just the same. So they really don't care what they put out there as long as it grabs attention. That's part of the problem there.
Yes. Attention, ratings equals money. Case in point, when his latest indictment was a little font on the Fox News page. So I went to good old CNN, and that shit like took half of the front page, man.
Yeah.
I'm getting to see it now that Trump does make news outside of Fox News, and CNN and MSNBC, they love it. They love it.
But what's going to happen, or if it happens? I'm almost positive he's still going to be the Republican nominee. So you keep doing all this smear campaign and all this bullshit, and if this time he beats you, what are you going to do? Really? I mean, that's where my biggest thought is. What's going to be the actual result of it all?
That would be the best thing because of the way that they've been doing everything. Because no matter what anybody does, it seems like there are no consequences for things. What if, after all of these charges and this and that, and they're levying all of these claims and blah, 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 Donald Trump still is elected president?
I have one question for you, Mr.
Please,
B.
go ahead.
If he is elected to president of the United States, will he have that same vengeance that Joe Biden has coming after him? Will he go after Hunter via Joe?
And Mr. B,
or will he just cross his legs and like, nah, guys, let's worry about bigger fires?
And Mr. B will answer that question right after this quick break. We'll be back in 3 to 4 minutes, ladies and gentlemen.
Good.
I hear the sound, stumbling laughter, holding on to each other. Miss the last bus on foot to get home. I miss the town, rowdy and clever, all at once undercover, blowing kisses to the shop windows as we go. We stayed out playing past midnight. That was years ago. Now something just ain't right. Better take it slow. I see the view stretching before us, cathedral bells and a chorus, morning larks singing out to the dawn. I miss me and you, boy, with style, on our bikes, single file, day drinking at a cafe in Cologne. We stayed out playing past midnight. That was years ago. Now something just ain't right. Better take it slow.
Hey, 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 everybody. Welcome to the last half hour of The Way We See It right here on the FFN Network. I am your host, Blazeman. Let me bring the boys back in. Mr. G tonight. Would you like to explain to the audience on the significance of the Mr. G name tonight?
Yes, I sure would. Would you like to bring the other hosts on? Because I would definitely like to see
Mr.
their
Donnie and
intro.
Mr. B.
Thank you. Without further ado, so I am Mr. Gee today in remembrance of the 13th we lost in Afghanistan. Marine Corps Sergeant Nicole L. Gee, 23 of Sacramento, California. This message goes out to Brittany Reiner and Megan Rapone. Just before her days, G posted a photo on Instagram of herself uniform while holding a baby in Afghanistan with this caption, "I love my job." She came from Sacramento, California, and she did what she does. She did, loved doing what she did, and it was an honor for me just to represent her last name as the male, not the female. I don't play that trans bullshit.
We have breaking news with Mr. Wilson. He's live right now.
Who's Mr. Wilson?
Who is?
And I use this word very, very advisedly, right? I'm not just popping off here. This was a coup d'etat. This was an attempt to seize power that was not legitimately granted by the electoral processes of the Constitution of the United States.
Okay, now, question is he talking about November of 2020? Think about that, everybody. You know what happened then? That's not what it's about. That's not what it's about. That's not what it's about.
Wrong, Mr. Wilson.
Okay, so I mean, yeah, they played it off. The Democratic White House that's been in charge for the last couple of years, they always play it off to where when it looks bad, it's going to be, a little shit in their face. Oh, it's okay. It's no big deal. It's no big deal. It's okay that President Biden forgot that, or he misrepresented, or he misspoke. It's okay. But when O'Donnell does it, they go after him. I mean, once again, it goes back to you can't hide it anymore. You're just straight going after the man because for some reason you fear him, or it's just because you can't beat him straight up or whatever. It's ridiculous anymore.
Donnie, the media already has excuses for Joe Biden when he leaves the office to protect his name and his family going forward. They're going to make up items such as his age, his continuity. Not it, it's sad, and I already see it. I already freaking see it.
I can tell you right now, if an Alzheimer's, dementia, some kind of memory, cognitive memory disease or onset, yeah, I could see that coming real easy. It's obvious in just the way he conducts himself that there's something going on, man.
Hey, but you know something? I'm President Joe Biden. I'm leaving Delaware. I know my son's under investigation, and he was asked about the Hawaii incident, and he's like, no comment. And the right-wing media jumped on that and said, he doesn't care about the people of Hawaii and stuff. I say send Barack Obama there. But getting back to this, it's like no, that'd be a great nomination for President Obama. He won't do it because he's got to work for Joe. He's not feeling that. But getting back to, I forgot where I was at with the Mr. Wilson. Everybody is fed up on the internet with all this little racial bullshit on that song Donnie said, live in this small town. Dude, I don't even look at the video. I look at the people that are critiquing the video. And 90% of them are brothers, and they say it's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
A bunch of bullshit. And it makes me cry to see this man say, where are we going? where are we going with this? And he's right. Dude, it's I'm done, Donnie or Mr. B.
Well, while we're at it, I'm going to chime in here. I'm going to go and fill in what we were going to talk about when I get back. President Donald J. Trump is not an idiot. He learns from his mistakes. When he comes back as president again, he's not going to be as nice and kind and nicey as he had been in dealing with the people that have been so pestering and causing all sorts of problems and throwing sticks in front of his way while he was trying to take care of things. And
hand grenades.
This time, I don't think he's going to pull any punches. And this time, the people that are responsible for doing the things against him, against us, are going to wind up paying their piper to play. That's what I have to say.
I got one thing.
No, that's it.
Okay, and I'd like to add something too, Donnie. I really believe he'll come and act better, but he won't go after the people that came after him, and neither with any other Republicans. And I'm going to say this, and I really mean this deep down from my heart, coming through my mind. Republicans are afraid to make any noise, i.e. Ted Cruz, all these other clowns we have in suits up there in Washington, because if they're afraid they make noise, their closets will open. And that's that because they do not stick together as a team.
Don't say closets about the left wing. Nobody's in the closet.
No, real quick, Mr. B, and this will be my last statement, and I appreciate the time. Republicans suck, but when it comes to the Democrats, they at least stick together. And
as
I
far
leave
as
it at
that
that.
goes, yeah. Let's I can't stand is like, what is fucking fat boy Chris Christie, sorry for my language, ladies and gentlemen, Chris Christie, so after Trump for? Doesn't this guy understand he doesn't have a shot in hell? You know what I'm saying? He's going to be
doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell. There's somebody else who's calling for Trump to back out of the race, and he has less than 2% of any kind of votes at all.
So why does this guy keep attacking a guy that was once his friend, Donnie?
Christie's vying for a VP or a cabinet seat. He knows he's not winning anything. That's why he's doing that. He's on the bandwagon thinking Trump ain't going to make it out of court. So he's vying for an extra seat. You know, he knows he's not going to be president. But I'm going to kind of go back on what Demas was talking about. And any Republican that wins, you're a dumbass if you go after the Democrats and say how you're going to, make sure they pay for all their crimes, because that's a classic case of retaliation, and you'll be impeached and out the office quicker than you even got in it, man. You know what I'm saying?
But
that's too easy, bro. Come on.
No. But they tried that day one with Trump. They didn't even give that fool to take a shit in the White House.
No, that's what they're going to do even if he wins again. They're just going to sit there and fight with him and fight with him. Did the same shit to Obama. Did the same shit with Bush after a while. It's just going to be 4 more years of straight bullshit with nothing but arguments and finger pointing. And we're slowly just going to sink further in the hole. That's the only thing that happens.
And let's...
This dude
yes, Tony. Let's start off with a clean slate. And I know that's what you want to do. And 95% of the American public is on that train.
Yeah, it goes for the senators and the Republicans senators and members of the House and shit. Enough already. Do something, legislate something that's good for our country, because we can't sustain this anymore.
Right.
It's just crazy.
Let's listen to the little donut fuck. Go ahead.
Well, hold up. Obama should jump on that Hawaii trip, because they haven't. He hasn't been given the opportunity. The media hasn't found him yet. Is what he does daily, weekly, monthly, who he visits. Obama knew what Joe was doing, and that's all I got to say.
Nah, I just want to know, Chris Christie.
Vice President,
Whoa,
please,
Chris
gets
Christie?
and no, Joe Biden, and then he has the audacity to go on camera. I told him if they didn't fire that prosecutor, they wouldn't get $1 billion. And I know this is repetitious. You know, we've heard this so many times, but right there, that's all you need to convict the man. That's all you need. I fired him.
Right.
Oh, son of a bitch. They fired the prosecutor. Come on, man. That's such a quid pro whatever, this for that.
Quid pro quo.
And that's, yeah, it's Latin. And it's for this for that. Ah, man, I'm sorry. I'm done.
All right, let's take a listen to Christie.
Former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. All right, so you're a former prosecutor,
Yep.
and you look at this, and I maybe want to ask you that same question. So you have the federal case, which you're very familiar with, and you have a state case, and usually the federal case will supersede the state case, but not in this case.
Well, this is why I'm uncomfortable with what I read last night. I think that this conduct is essentially covered by the federal indictment, not with the level of detail that they cover it in this, but that's just a stylistic thing. Election interference is election interference. It's been charged by Jack Smith, and most of the time, what you'd see here would be a state court deferring to a federal prosecution, especially if that federal indictment had already been issued. So I think this was unnecessary, as to Donald Trump. Now, remember, as to the other defendants, Jack Smith chose not to charge them. So I would have less of a problem with this if she decided, okay, I'm not going to charge Donald Trump here because he's been charged for essentially this conduct by Jack Smith. But Giuliani and Meadows and others have not been charged at the federal level. That would be a more defensible indictment, I think.
So let me ask you, so you agree with what Turley just said then? He called it excessive.
Yeah, I think it was unnecessary.
Why then would you, as a Democratic DA, pursue state charges if you think by law they're already covered in these other cases?
See, people view this, and your question views it as a partisan decision. Don't forget that these prosecutors all have egos. And she's been investigating this thing for 2.5 years. Jack Smith comes in within the last year. He swoops in, he charges quickly, and she said, whoa, wait a second. I've been looking at this. I'm sure what this indicates is there's not cooperation between her office and the special counsel's office. And I'm sure he wanted her to defer. She chose not to. So what I'd say to the viewers, Bill, is don't necessarily look at this as a partisan decision. This is probably an ego decision where she said, well, hell, I put all this time and effort into this investigation, and I want something out of it.
They were saying the same thing about Alvin Bragg here in New York.
Well, that's right. And that's why I think we immediately put it into when they're opposite parties, into a partisan choose. I could tell you from having done this, that often I would get on the phone with a local prosecutor when we were investigating the same thing and say to them, I need you to stand down. The problem here is I did that inside New Jersey where those folks had to continue to work with me after this case. Here, they don't have to work together. And so there's less leverage that Jack Smith has against a Fannie Willis or against an Alvin Bragg to say, back off because you're going to need
22 counts of forgery. The fuck is this forgery coming from?
Oh, it's probably the same shit they said about when he did the Stormy Daniels. He wrote the money for the lawyer to give for the NDA. He wrote it down as legal fees, and oh no, that wasn't supposed to be legal fees. So he probably wrote some shit like that, and they're trying to tie it to political campaign donations so they can get him on federal election fraud or some shit, or campaign fraud type shit. Basically some bullshit, Blaze.
So I see a comment up there from our friend Jerry Souza. So how do we fix it? I don't know how we fix it, but we definitely need to keep on being vocal about this situation. This is not the America we used to, man. You know, and I'm not even talking about morals. I'm talking about just doing the right thing. No, man. I'm sorry. It's the latest viewer put it's all a distraction, and she's 100% right. Go, Mr. B.
Someone wants to know how we fix it. And I know you're not going to agree with me or whatever else, but what we got to do is take these people out
by voting. By voting. Take these people out by voting, and then prosecute them, and then put them behind bars, and let them rot there, and be done with it, and that they never again see the light of day. But unfortunately, the American people just don't seem to have that in them. They don't get it. No, we are a country of forgiveness now. We are quick to forgive. We are quick to forgive.
That's great. That's wonderful. That's nice. That's fantastic. That's marvelous. And look where it keeps getting us. We're quick to forgive. We're quick to reach out and help out and whatever else. And everybody's kumbaya until they turn around and start lobbing hand grenades and missiles at us again.
Yes, sir. Donnie, what option are you opening up, brother?
I'm gonna go with the Mrs. V45, the distraction thing. I was gonna look up how many laws have passed in the past couple months since, all this shit with Trump and everything else. There's probably some little small shit that got passed, got earmarked on something, and it's gonna, bend this all over the table tax-wise, next year or two probably. And, I think it's just distraction too, so I can keep people, on something else while I go, politic and campaign and get my donations for my votes because I pay people off. All that good shit, as Democrats usually do.
You know what I would like to do one day, Donnie, and I think we have a good on-site, and we'll talk it over with Mr. B and Mr. Blazeman, is the military industrial machine in this country, how it works and how it operates. And I want to get back to another thing, and Vivek Ramaswamy brought this up to my attention. All right. Yeah, you're going to learn how to probably announce his name properly when he becomes vice president.
Ramaswamy.
Come on, man. We're a country of diversity, man. Not all of us are named John, Bob, and Tom, okay?
I know, but his name is Vivek. That's how they pronounce it.
Okay. I've heard. Okay, good deal. But what he brought that was striking to me is that the defense budget, they pass it. But it's one of them bills that the senators and the House of Representatives go into and get money out. And Mr. Trump did the same thing. He took $5 billion out of there for the wall. And I just want to say one thing real quick on the wall, because I met an interesting person today at the VA. He's a good friend of mine's. You remember the trash man, Donnie?
Yes.
He made this comment. He said, the wall that we're putting up is not for the migrants. The wall is for us to resist China after they invade Mexico. And I'll leave it at that.
That would be perfectly logical sense, because did anybody remember the little video with Alexa that got pulled up that said World War III starts in about 1 March 2024? And yeah, we get China on one side of the country, Russia on the other. That makes all kinds of perfect sense.
And haven't I been saying, I don't know how many times now, that the Mexican drug cartels are the plaything of China?
Yes, sir.
How many times have I said this?
Yes.
It's becoming a little more evident now.
Well, I don't think they're so much of play toys for China. I think they're more just, they know China's got deep pockets if they need help, and they're just playing on their own emotions, as however high they are on the the chart for the hierarchy type deal. You know what I'm saying? But where's that?
They can't put a dent in the Mexican drug cartels.
They can if they want to. You have to want to. The U.S. doesn't want to.
Well, they can't put a dent in the Mexican drug cartels, but they can put it. But they took out the mafia in America.
He's putting it up here to see if we bite on it. Just stand back.
The emergency broadcast system.
Don't say nothing, Doc.
Conventional forces of the Russian army. It is believed the lead waves were disguised as commercial charter flights. Communications have broken down with other parts of the country. Large areas of the Midwest may have been overrun.
They know who all of you are. They're looking for you.
You're 40 miles behind enemy lines.
I just want to go home. They took a lot of people away.
Where's my dad, Mr. Eckert?
One of us loves somebody, Andy. I'm gonna die before it happens.
George! They're gonna kill us! All of us! So why should we be different? Because we live here!
America!
Thank
Are you
you.
done, Blaze? Thank you. Oh, God.
Thank you.
Sorry, FFN Network.
We apologize to have
The
offended
name of
everybody.
that film escapes me now, but
You told them to stop talking. All I wanted to do was run it in the background as what if, because that's what we were talking about.
That movie was such a Cold War, Soviet Union. Let me just jump.
Cuba relations,
Yeah, Cuba,
you know.
Yeah,
no.
Cuba and Russia, yeah.
Yeah, that was
Whatever,
cute,
man.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
every go ahead, Donnie. I got this.
No.
Don't worry about it.
What World War III is going to be of our own making. We're going to make it ourselves because we always poke at everything and do this and that. And the rest of the world is tired of big bully brother. We're the big bully in the globe where everybody wants us to be. We try to portray that, and we do that by going and fighting everywhere. The rest of the world's going to get tired and be like, nah, big bully, you gotta go.
Yeah, but
the only problem is China's economy. Can it survive?
before we wind up going off screen here, folks, I want to delve into this. What the hell is going on with the manifesto?
What do you need a manifesto? Because somebody did what they did. Not
No,
everybody writes that.
No, but he's looking for.
I want to find out what else was in it.
Yep.
What
I want to find out
manifesto?
what else was in it, and what else we can expect to happen because it's coming.
That's because she wrote something. You know what I mean? She wrote something that they're afraid, I don't know, to show.
I know.
What are you talking about?
No, and that trans girl, boy, whatever she was, the one that went,
The one that shot up the
Tennessee
Presbyterian
school.
church and school about
Yep.
4 or 5 months ago had left a manifesto. And usually they bring those things out and they tell you what's in it. Or else. Nothing has been released about this manifesto. They're covering something up. And they're doing it big time. Even that Vivek Ramaswamy has been filing paperwork trying to get it released, and they're pissing all over him over it.
Because I can tell you half the reason is probably because the pending litigation and lawsuits that are against the school. So of course they're not going to release that because it's evidence in the case, and you're not going to taint my jury. That's one right there. That's too easy.
You hit
you
it
ain't
out
gonna
of.
get it. You asking for what you ain't gonna get. Why are you so worried about a manifesto? This is what pisses me off or upsets me a little bit. We're worried about a piece of fucking paper when a dumbass went and shot a fucking school. How about you worry about who the fuck I teach not to do that shit again? How about I change some policies or I change some schools? I go figure out all these philanthropists that want to throw money around. Hey, motherfucker, I need some new doors. Come bring your ass. We need some
What
money.
I'm worried about
Get
is the
fuck outta
sleeper
here.
cells that manifesto was supposed to trigger and get them moving.
The
You
sleeper
think
cells,
so?
they know half of that shit already.
You think so? Sleeper cell?
No.
I believe it.
All right, listen, guys. We got to give them a minute. Go.
Yeah, no.
Go.
I believe that there are sleepers that manifesto was supposed to reach out and wake up and call them into action.
Call who into action?
The sleepers.
For what?
Into doing more of exactly
Call who
more
into action?
of what this person did.
The same transsexual people? Who, Mr. B?
Well, okay.
Well, Mr. B's trying to identify an enterprise.
Yeah.
An organization, an operation, something of that nature.
Yes.
Okay, so
like an ultra radical woke culture.
You're not going to find that because it's too easy to do the same thing over social media. We've glorified school shootings or going these mass shootings and all this through video games, and some people talk and everything else. It's been glorified. For some people, like Demas mentioned earlier, I'm just tired of life and I'm going to go out with a bang. So you're asking for something to get pinpointed on a bigger problem that we ain't even scratched the surface on. Because that problem is not just all these papers. The sleeper cells and all this crap that you want to find out about, FBI and CIA, all these agencies, they probably got information on them already. They're out there doing the exact same
As
thing.
if I really trust the FBI and the CIA.
But I'm just saying, there's organizations out there. They're already looking for that shit. But you're not going to get that information because, one, you're not in a need to know. And
my
two,
ass.
You don't think there's information out there you don't want to know. You think you want to know, but you do not. Because there is a black and an evil part of this world. They call it black ops for a reason. That's because it stays in the black and nobody knows. And those are necessary evils. Wow. Stop worrying so much about the past and the bullshit and try to fix it forward. That's how you fix problems. As somebody asked earlier, that's the way to start fixing all the politics too. Just saying.
I think that's a wrap there, Blaze Man.
All right, guys. Mr. B, start it off.
We got a really good show. We're going to continue on with it again tomorrow night. First, of course, we've got the Coach's Corner coming out tomorrow night, and he's always got a hell of a good show. Then we've got Politicking with Mr. B, and I'm going to be bringing something else up and a little more sprightly conversation. We'll be seeing that tomorrow night. And the gentlemen, it has been an honor and privilege and pleasure to be along with you this evening. Blazeman, excellent work as always. As the engineer, we thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. B. I appreciate that. Peace and love to each and every one of you out there. We hope you enjoyed the show. Okay, because again, this is just the way we see it. And we leave the comment section wide open for anybody who wants to chime in. Okay, we're not gonna flip out on you, and we're not gonna call you names and none of that shit. It's not how we roll. Again, it's just the way we see it. Thanks everybody for tuning in, Mr. Gee.
Thank you, Blaze Man. Thank you, Mr. B, Mr. Donnie. Remember, how do we fix it? Let's be vocal about it. Let's not touch nobody. Let's not hurt nobody. Let's just reference the Constitution. And this country still is the best place to live in this world. And I'll support it till the day I die. That's all I have.
Donald.
Good night to Mrs. B45. No, but everybody, thanks. However you're connecting, appreciate it. And like always, think positive, do positive. See y'all next week.
Mr. B.
Yowza.
Good night, sir.
Good night,
see
sir.
You tomorrow. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love. Be kind. If you got it, give it. Signing off. FFN Network.
Why do you believe what you believe? Because at some point in your life, you trusted the information that somebody was giving you. And that someone you trusted told you that a car was a car, a tree was a tree, a bird was a bird, the blue stuff above you is the sky. And that's the way that we began to determine what we believe to be a fact. Most of the things that we believe to be a fact in our lives are told to us through our stories or the news that we hear. So my question would be, if they were deceiving you with the stories they tell you, would you be able to recognize